Hey you! Do you want to make a character that looks like this? Or this? These two characters are both Screeches. In this video, I'm going to read through the Screech species guide and tell you all there is to know about making your own Screech character. Before I start, I do want to say that this is an open species and anybody can make one for free. And I also want to say a quick thank you to all the Screech creators out there who've made the species big enough to need a species guide. I appreciate all of you so much. Now let's take a look at the guide. It says, "Welcome to the official Screech Species Information Guide. Here you can learn everything there is to know about those silly mouth creatures we call Screeches. There's a lot to learn. Where do you want to start?" I want to start on Screech habitats. Screeches live on a planet called Schmorp. This planet is similar to Earth except it's larger and made up of 55.5% forest land. This is a little illustration I made of planet Schmorp. This forest land is broken up into 5 biomes: jungle forest, tropical forest, desert forest, arctic forest, and an ocean forest. Screeches are very adaptive to the environment they live in and develop special physical adaptations and traits. Explore the buttons below to learn about each biome and how they impact the Screeches. The jungle forest is the largest and most common biome on planet Schmorp. This biome has an average temperature of 78 degrees Fahrenheit and can be characterized by its tall grasses, uneven land, and thick trunked trees with round leaves. A Screech living in this biome may have short to medium length fur for the warm temps, short nails for climbing small distances, and medium to large ears. The tropical forest is the second largest biome on planet Schmorp. This biome has an average temperature of 89 degrees Fahrenheit and can be characterized by its tall, skinny tropical trees and thick bushes. A Screech living in this biome may have short fur for the high temps, long nails to climb tall trees, long tails for balance during climbing, and large to medium ears. Desert forest. The desert forest is the third largest biome on planet Schmorp. This biome has very inconsistent temperature changes, with lows in the 40s and highs in the 80s. The desert forest's average temperature is 56 degrees Fahrenheit. This biome can be characterized by its dusty, dry land and sporadic, long, skinny trees with small leaves. Due to the weather conditions and the lack of housing options, it's uncommon to find a Screech living in this biome. The Screeches that do live here may have large feet and hand paws for balance on the sand, medium to short tails, short to medium fur, no nails, and medium to small ears. Arctic forest. The Arctic forest is the third largest biome on planet Schmorp and the most harsh. This biome has an average temperature of negative 18 degrees Fahrenheit and it can be characterized by its tall, thick, ice-covered trees and uneven land. The slippery, craggy terrain makes it a dangerous habitat for some Screeches, but the Screeches that are adapted may have long fur, tall ears, long tails, and long nails. Ocean forest. The ocean forest is the smallest biome and the only underwater biome on planet Schmorp. The water has an average temperature of 64 degrees Fahrenheit year-round and can be characterized by its unique deep-sea fruit-bearing trees, underwater caves, and a smooth, sloped terrain. A Screech that lives in this biome will always have gills, fishtails, and fins, and may also have webbed hands and feet, glow-in-the-dark spots, and long to medium fur. Every biome has its own large fruits, trees, and natural structures that Screeches hollow out and turn into houses. These are just a few of the fruits that grow in each of the 5 biomes. So, let's take a closer look at this little illustration that I've done. Each biome has its own special fruit, and if you look, each biome kind of has like its own colors. So, tropical forest has very colorful fruits, Arctic forest has very cool colored fruits. If there isn't any fruits on here that you like for your Screech, you could make up a new one. But there is lots to choose from on this list. I think my favorite would probably be the hanging whoosh or the oofroom. I like all of them, though. Okay, moving on to the next page. Anatomy of a Screech. Each Screech is unique with its own adaptation-related features. If you're not sure what an adaptation-related feature is, read the Screech Habitat section. But no matter where your Screech lives, they will always have these defining features. They are what make a Screech a Screech. So these are the features on a Screech that you can't change. And if you do change them, they don't count as a Screech. Screeches will always have 2 tiny glittering eyes, lips, 6 top teeth, which are these 2 top fangs, and then the rest of them are small. These fangs can be longer, just as long as they have 6 top teeth, and then, other than the fangs, the rest of the teeth are small. and they will always stand to be 3 to 4 foot tall. Besides the defining features, the rest of the screech is up to you. For example, your screech can have any kind of tail, any kind of markings, wings, horns, and so on, and still count as a screech. So, I went ahead and illustrated a do's and don'ts down here. Things you can do when you're making your screech is you can add more arms, you can add more ears if you want, you can add more whiskers, and the whiskers don't have to be curly, they can be straight or any shape and any length. They can have any kind of tail. And here are some don'ts. You cannot get rid of their eyeballs. You cannot change or get rid of their lips or change the shape of their lips. You cannot add a nose. You cannot change the teeth shape or number of teeth. Okay, moving on to the next section. Information and traits of a screech. A screech is a 3 to 4 foot tall herbivore that stands on 2 legs and eats mostly fruit. They are very social creatures and are always seeking out connections with other screeches. They are usually in packs of 2 or more. They communicate with their pack using mostly whispers and clicking sounds, but they can speak at normal volumes. Screeches are very happy creatures and are smiling most of the time, but this doesn't mean they don't feel and express other emotions too. So here is a screech being very expressive and expressing a lot of emotions. Screeches have very bad eyesight and depend heavily on their sense of smell. They smell through their whiskers, antlers, antennas, whatever you want to call them. The more whiskers a screech has, the better their sense of smell is. So here's a little illustration of a screech smelling with his antlers. Screeches are asexual and asexually reproduce. Screeches only asexually reproduce when they have formed an extremely close bond with another screech and want to start a family. When a screech asexually reproduces, they are able to choose a body part to reproduce from, usually the whiskers or tail. The screech partners perform a ritual until the body part of choice separates from the screech's body and becomes a baby screech. When the ritual is over, the screech who reproduced will not have the body part until it grows back in 2 to 3 months. The ritual performed between the screech couple during asexual reproduction usually consists of singing and dancing. So looking at these illustrations, here is 2 screeches performing the ritual. They're singing and dancing. Here is a screech with a baby screech and missing an antler, because that antler turned into a baby screech. And this is the body part glowing and then becoming a baby screech. The life expectancy of a screech is 108 human years. When a screech has passed away, they are buried in a special flower garden that is shared by the screech community. Each screech that is buried grows a different flower for the garden. Screeches believe that their loved ones live on as flowers. It's a little illustration of the garden. Okay, that's it for that page. Moving on to rules and Q&A. There's only 3 rules to making a screech. Rule number 1 is to credit me when making or selling screech characters. Rule number 2 is don't copy or closely reference anybody else's screech. I feel like this is like a Fursona rule, but a lot of people will duplicate Loveness and Oddball's markings, so I also threw in there, especially Loveness and Oddball in parentheses, just to make it clear. And rule number 3, following defining features on screech anatomy section. Because if you don't follow those, your screech doesn't count as a screech. And that's not good. Okay. Q&A. Do I have to pay to make a screech? Nope. Screeches are an open species. Can I sell screech adopts? Yes. Just be sure to credit me for creating the species so new screeches can always find the guide. Can screeches live in fruits that already exist? No. Fruits on planet Schmork can look similar to fruits we have on Earth, but they aren't completely the same. I've also gotten a question that's similar to this, that is, like, can screeches live in vegetables that already exist? And that's also a no, but you could make a vegetable, or you could make a fruit that grows in one of the biomes on planet Schmorp that looks like a vegetable on Earth. Can screeches have a feral form? No, screeches are anthropomorphic only. Is there such thing as a rare screech or a rare screech trait? Yes, Arctic desert, and ocean screeches are more rare than other screeches due to the size and living conditions on each biome. Does my screech have to be adapted to the biome they live in? No, your screech does not have to be completely adapted to the biome they live in. Adaptation and can have adaptation traits from other biomes, so I gotta fix that. Sorry, my voice is gonna change a little bit here because I forgot to say this, but here is the question section. If there's a question that you have that isn't answered anywhere else on the guide, there's a little box where you can leave me an email, or you can contact me on any of these platforms. If you don't want to leave me an email, I will probably answer the fastest on Instagram. And that's it. I hope the guide is helpful and detailed, and I hope you liked my video of me reading through the guide. Thank you, bye!